Good evening, Justice Warriors. It is that day. It's August 6th. It's Sunday. It's almost 10:30. Another 10:30. Wow, what a year it's been. So, let me start with my normal routine because I'm very routine oriented. And I broke my thumb last night, so I got a band-aid on it. Please hit that thumbs up button if you'd be so kind. I was just like knocking things over last night. I thought I was just being clumsy, and then I realized that my kids put a bunch of crap in this room, and it just made it so crowded. It was crazy. So, routine. Where's my thing? Ah, now there I go. Okay, I won't blame it on my kids. It was me. I admit it. Share, subscribe, ring your notification bell. S'il vous plaît. So a year ago, you guys, I was out camping with my family in Michigan, and we were having a very nice time. If you've never been to the northern Upper Peninsula, holy smokes. It's like God's land up there. It is so gorgeous. The colors of the sky and the water and everything else in the summertime is like nothing you've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of beautiful places. So we had a lovely 10-day camping trip up there. It was fantastic. There were six of us. We had our three dogs with us, and it was just phenomenal. We were having the best time. It was called Painted Rock. I think that's what the cliffs are called up there. It's like a 26-mile thing that is just phenomenal, like one of the Earth's natural wonders. So it was on the last day that we were there when we were leaving that I saw the information about this 16-year-old kid missing from this party out in Lake Tahoe and how she was going to go camping the next day and blah, 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 blah. And I just want to get straight to the point with this story. I don't want to drag it out because we were all so concerned, right? Nationwide, worldwide, everybody was trying to find Kylie. That was the resolution. The whole premise was that once Kylie was found, we'd have some answers and the family would have some answers, most importantly, and people that knew her would have some answers. So it was when she was found and there was zero resolution that I really knew something was dreadfully wrong. And here we are a year later and still no resolution. The freaking California Highway Patrol doesn't even have their accident report. That's unbelievable, you guys. Like, there is a big something going on with this case, and we all know it. And Ms. Kylie Rodney, rest her soul, looks like she lost her life. I know there's sometimes question about that, and it seems abundantly clear that she is no longer of this earth. And the alternative is pretty bleak as well. So it's a really sad situation. There's just been a lot of mudslinging. There's just been a lot of name calling and finger pointing and you name it. A lot of infighting in our streets of the YouTube, as I like to say. Um, you know, we're all, I think we're all after the same goal of finding justice for Kylie and finding justice for her family. And that might mean different things to different people, but for the people that love and care about this poor young person who had such an amazing life ahead of her, and to have that be lost, it's like the worst thing imaginable. And yes, of course, there's a lot of sad, tragic stories, and there's so many that we don't focus on. And there's so many families that would love to have the attention of YouTube true crime creators talking about their person. And I wish I could. I wish I could talk about all of those cases, but I try to be very focused and single minded and focus on one case as much as I can to see it to the end. And when I started my channel, it was because of that lack of resolution with the finding of Ms. Kylie Rodney and there being absolutely no resolution whatsoever, that I finally said, my goodness, I need to start my flippin' channel. So I looked yesterday, and my first video, I think, was August 30th. I think my second video was August 31st, and then my third video was September 2nd. And for some reason, I don't know what it was in the algorithm, but that third video hit the ground running, and it has probably more views than any other video that I have to this day. And I have somewhere, I think, getting close to 380 videos now. So I've been very focused on this case. I've been very focused on a few other cases. One that's taken up a ton of my time and attention, of course, is the Idaho 4 case. And I dare to even mention it because I want to stay focused today, right now, on Ms. Kylie Rodney. And I'm going to show the Christmas tree ornament one more time because I know that not everybody watches every video that I've made or that I'm in. I was on a live last night over on Squirrels on Fire and I showed it again. And I hadn't mentioned when I showed it on my channel the other day that it's metal. So it's thin, it's metal, and it is Patty Cakes is the subscriber that made these, and she made a bunch of them and she sent them to some content creators. And I had a few extra that or I think she told me she had a few extra, and then I was able to connect those with some viewers that won them. Anyway, she sent them to the people, and one of the people that won this wanted to make them. And Patty Cake said, go for it. So it's my belief that these are going to be available through my channel. I will not make a penny off of them. The fee for them, whatever it is, I would guess like maybe $5 to $10, would simply be to cover the process of creating it and shipping it. So if you're interested, think about these Christmas tree ornaments. I honestly thought that it was a really goofy idea when Patty Cakes emailed me about it. I was just like, what? And I mentioned this in my video a couple days ago. When she sent it to me, when I received it, I was like, man, was I off base thinking that because it's a beautiful Christmas tree ornament. I love it. And it's a beautiful idea. And I just feel like it's one way to keep Kylie's spirit shining. So if you're interested, um, I'll continue with filling you guys in on how they're going to be available. So, nobody wants to be the bearer of bad news. No one. No one wants to say, we found your person and they're no longer, they're no longer. Nobody wants to have to deliver that news. That has got to be one of the worst jobs for anybody in law enforcement or medical examiners, coroners. It's a rough conversation to have with someone. I actually had to have that conversation once with a perfect stranger, and I thought that I could handle it. It was over the phone. The person was out of state, and I was asked to do this by the main party. It was the person's brother, the person that I was speaking to on the phone, and I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but it really threw me a curveball to tell this person what had happened and to be the bearer of that bad news. It was one of the most difficult things I've ever done in my life. So, losing is rough. Losing, period. Losing things, losing pets, losing a person. It's so difficult to come to terms with that. And God forbid that any of us make that process any harder for somebody who's always already going through the most difficult thing imaginable. So make no bones about it. That's the last thing that I want. I would imagine that that's the last thing other content creators want, and that that's the last thing any person would want, would be to make someone's already extremely difficult situation even worse. And the only thing that you can do is be there, be honest, and try to offer support, try to offer compassion. Just to be there is huge. A lot of people can't tolerate it and they won't be around and they won't have that conversation of just saying, I'm so sorry for what happened. I'm so sorry for what you're going through. My deepest sympathies, my deepest condolences, and to really mean it and to not get caught up in their own story and their own process of loss of that situation or whatever situation it reminds them of. And I think with Kylie Rodney, her situation reminds a lot of us, or I'd say all of us. Her story reminds us of something from our life that we connect with. And for some of these content creators, myself included, it's extremely profound and significant. And that's why that case propelled me to finally create my channel. And I just want to say it's been such a profound and cathartic experience. It's just been amazing on so many levels. And I'm so touched to have subscribers. I'm so touched to have commenters. I'm so touched to have each like, each view. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And bear with me. I'm figuring this out as I go. Last night on Shan's Live was the first time I used, like, I don't even know what they're called, earphones or something. They weren't earpods or AirPods. I don't even know these terms. And it wasn't a headphone, it was something else. And, I've got all this wonderful technology in my house. I've got all these wonderful high tech know-it-alls in my house, but that's not my thing. That's not my forte. That's not my cup of tea. This is. So I'm trying to figure it out and I'm trying to learn and I try to get assistance from my family members when I can. And, they're goofy. They got their own stuff going. They're not that excited to help me. Fortunately, my oldest hadn't moved out yet. She moved out today. And so last night she was here and she was able to hook up the whole thing and I was able to participate in Shan's live. And, that girl does a lot for a lot of people. And I'm just very privileged to be part of her circle of co-creators. The last thing I like to do is to talk poorly about anyone and especially other content creators. I just find that that's in very poor taste. And at the same time, when people are doing things that are just so destructive, in my opinion, sometimes I do feel compelled and even obligated to speak out about it. So I'd like to apologize if I've ever offended anybody. I'm sure that I have. That again is the last thing I want to do. I'm trying to put forth my best effort of making the world a better place. Again, I know that sounds corny, but I'm a big goofball, so take it for what it is. All right. So what else? I've really been wanting to stay focused on Ms. Kylie Rodney for the whole weekend, of course. I've been so distracted for many, many moons with that Idaho 4 case. And both of these cases are so unreal. Like literally unreal. It's a little ironic too in the Kylie Rodney case that the photographs that they claim that they had were from the Be Real app. And that is an app that kids use. I know my college kid uses the Be Real, and I think they only started using it this last year. They don't pay attention to that Kylie Rodney case, but it's an app that's gotten more popular this last year. So I'm not questioning the validity of that. I'm just saying how poetic that that was the app that they were using that night when that was the last thing they were doing. That's the last thing they have done is to be real. And I want to make a plea if there's anyone watching this video that has knowledge of what really happened to Ms. Kylie Rodney to do the right thing, to step up, to tell the authorities and to tell the right authorities. Tell the authorities that you know have integrity. Because if they're authorities without integrity, that's not going to do you any good. And that could actually get you into hot water. And that's probably precisely why things have been at a standstill. I mean, it's just gridlock for the Kylie Rodney case, for Kylie Rodney to finally find justice. So I want to keep this one kind of short tonight, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your ongoing support. I may or may not have dotted all my I's and crossed all my T's to be monetized, which is not really something that I care that much about. I'm just, this whole thing is like a science experiment for me and just seeing how it goes. And so I'm going to say my disclaimer at the end here since I forgot to say it at the beginning. Everything I say is simply my opinion. It's simply for the sake of conversation, hoping to open up a discussion. I'm always hoping to learn something, and my goal is for my videos to be educational for others. They are all made for YouTube, and we all know that YouTube is an entertainment platform. So, on that, you guys have a really good night. Peace out. Take care of yourself. Get a good night's rest. Stay hydrated. Eat well. Exercise, breathe, be kind, be especially kind to yourself, be forgiving, and be especially forgiving of yourself. Take it easy. Peace out. See you on the next one. Thanks again.